Welcome to the Player Supreme Show. I'm your host, Player Supreme.
Oh, you know we had to do it. Oh, you know we had to do it.
Come on.
Yes, welcome to the show today. Before I get into my show, let me talk about sex for a moment. About when you choose to have sex, because everything is a choice, brothers, and it's better to embrace something than to avoid it out of fear. So if you choose to have sex, look and see if you have any hidden motivations or fears before, during, and after the act. If you're truly trying to make a connection with someone, then that connection will be there. But if you're doing this on fear-based, it will not show up for you. Now, your orgasm is a individual thing that goes on inside of you. If you ever seen those type that just pound into a woman, when I was a kid, there was a certain race we said, fuck like this race of people that just fuck like goats, but these type of people, they just pound the pussy. Well, women get a kind of blank look when a guy is just pounding away into them, and many of them feel violated and fucked up on a deep level, like they're just being used. In the back of their mind, they're wondering why they're doing this and what's so exciting about it. They're wondering where the intimacy and the affection is. And you'll see them, they'll look into a man's eyes, and when they do, they can see that fool has retreated into his own little world there. Now, the only kind of females that like this kind of full throttle banging are ones who lack intimacy within them. The hollow, dead type of females. The moment you focus on your orgasm, what happens is your entire energetic makeup shifts. All of your chakras become lit up, and what should be an intimate connection, with the female, actually becomes a battle of your own pleasure. So what I want you to do next time you have sex is have sex, but try not to come. I'll say it again. Have sex and make it as pleasurable for her as you can, but try not to come. And do that as long as you can. Every time you get near your orgasm, I want you to stop. I want you to stop all movement, and I want you to focus directly into her eyes. And just look at her and try to connect to her through her eyes. When you stop, I want you to take your body and make it more sensitive and alert and aware. Think with your body and feel with your body. Try to feel if you can feel little tiny tremors inside of her body. Or is she laying there bored out of her mind? If she is, then you know that you need to step up your game in the bedroom. See if you're coming from a place of fear, afraid to connect with her. If you are, then you know you need to work on your inner game inside your head. You're having sex out of fear. Probably you're afraid that she might not think you're man enough or something like that. But whatever it is, you know that there's fear inside of you and that you need to attack that fear. I want everybody to live their lives without fear in their lives. Get to a place where you don't feel fear. When you stop and think with your body or feel with your body, every sense of your organs in your skin, I want you to try to connect into her body. Try to feel, if you're on top of her, try to feel the weight of your body on top of her. Try to feel the touch of her skin to your skin. Become aware of her breathing and your breathing. What I like to do is I like to try to match breathing so that we're both have this cycle of breathing that's going on, inhaling and exhaling. I like to do it where we're both exhaling at the same times. And then I like to switch it up where I'm exhaling and she's inhaling so that I'm breathing into her mouth and she's breathing into my mouth. This creates, if she's the right woman for you, this creates a flow of energy, but also a flow of pheromones that pass back and forth, so it will heighten your sex for you. That's why I'm not all for the hoe chasing thing. Why chase a female where when you get her in bed, you're not going to be connected to her. Who wants to have that blank, empty rutting into a pussy? You might as well whack the fuck off. Especially with the need for condoms these days, you have to use everything that you can to amp up the pleasure of that encounter. I just had a good show with the Ding last night. We got off point and went into talking about disease. I believe the Ding, he's extremely afraid of diseases as well as myself. So that's one thing that we had in common, and we talked about the need for condoms out there. And I talked about how condoms have separated the connection between man and woman. We can no longer feel as connected to the females that we're making love to. Never mind the causes of that, but basically there is this connection, or this lack of connection, between man and woman. And it will be there for a long time to come, as long as there's diseases out there, fellas. That means we always have to use some type of protection. Until we start dating the female, then you can both get AIDS tests and stuff like that. But in order to heighten, because condoms will sometimes make your dick go soft if you don't feel connected to her. So in order to get that connection, I'm giving you guys clues and tools that you can use to connect with her, so your dick stays hard and you still enjoy the sex even though you're using a condom. And the key is through opening your heart and connecting also to her body. Either one is valid. You can open up the physical side of your body, and I mean your entire body, or you can open up your heart chakras, or your heart chakra, and connect through your heart. And I don't mean start babbling, "Oh, I love you, baby, I love you." It's not about that. It's about feeling tenderness for that person. Allow yourself to feel a tender moment. I mean, think about that poor girl. She's given in to you, and she's opened her body to you. So I don't, I can be the coldest motherfucker around, but I still have a heart inside of me that respects women that sleep with me. How they've opened their legs to me, opened their hearts to me, opened their bodies to me. Because for women, when they sleep with a man, it's more than just sex for them. It's an emotional thing. That's why there are so many women that it takes such a long time to get them to have sex with you. Now, the females out there that are doing the one-night stands and all that, those women are usually disconnected. And I've run into quite a few of them. In fact, there was the German girl that was disconnected when I met her, and I was able to reconnect her heart back to the act of having sex. And when you connect your heart to sex, you have some of the most powerful sex that you've ever had. I mean, try being in love with somebody, or just opening your heart to somebody, and then making love to them. And imagine if the flow of breath between the two of you matches, and everything else fits and flows. Then your sex becomes something of a higher level instead of just rutting like a dog. So my goal is to help you guys come up out of the dog position of sex and get into a higher spiritual type of making love to women. And that's what a lot of people really don't get, that's what I'm about. I truly am about that type of making love, even though I don't do it to this day. But that is the best type of making love that you can ever achieve out there, or I should say I rarely do it. It's very, very powerful, and if you're trying to use it as a tool to conquer her mind, you will shatter a girl's mind if you use this as a tool as such. And that's what I've done in my past. And for me, I made a promise to myself not to utilize that tool anymore for that purpose. That is one reason why I have not done that with my current. So I just decided to open up the friendship path first. Like I was telling DJ Dan, I decided to become friends with her instead of doing the super sex stuff on her. So back to my point. You need to connect into her so that your breathing and her breathing are in a rhythm. Either one's exhaling and the other's inhaling, or you're doing it together. But you need to find a rhythm. And this is something you guys probably never heard of, but there is a rhythm to making love. And you need to find her rhythm also. Women have their own little rhythm, and you want to try to match your rhythm into hers. So you want to go down into her energy, pick up her rhythm, and then start to guide it and control it. Like if she wants you to hit it hard and fast, you go and hit it hard and fast, and then start to slow her down. Give her just the opposite. So whatever her rhythm is, take it in the opposite direction. This will amp up her intensity, and it will amp up her pleasure. If she likes it slow, then go in real slow at first, and then speed up a little bit, and then take it back to slow. Go in a little slow, speed up a little bit, then back to slow. You want to amp up change up her rhythm so that she matches your rhythm. And preferably, you're like me, you want to do it slow anyway. Because for me, doing it fast is like, running like dogs. But you can take your dick out to the edge of her pussy and aim it upwards, or put her hips under a pillow and aim your dick at the top of her pussy so it hits the G-spot. Now, when you're doing that, then you can hit it a little bit faster. Find out what she likes. If she likes it, hit that G-spot hit fast, or does she like it slow? Ask her. That's when the moments when you stop and you look her in the eyes and you kiss her. And then you talk to her, you ask her questions. Don't be afraid to look a woman in the eye. If you're afraid to look a woman in the eye, there's fear there inside of you. And you need to ask yourself, what am I afraid of? Am I afraid of this other human being? Am I afraid of her seeing me as I truly am? Find out what you're afraid of and get rid of it. Because when you come to the bedroom, there should be no walls between the two of you. Imagine what sex would be like if there were no walls between two individuals. You get two people who had no problem looking each other in the eye and telling them that they cared for the other person. Or just being able to look them in the eye when they had the orgasm and blast that energy out into you. When I take a girl to orgasm, I like to have them look me in the eye as they're coming, and then breathe with me. At that moment, her subconscious mind will be open, and the words that you put in at that moment will get programmed deep into her subconscious mind. Now, this is a double-edged sword, as I've said many times before. When you open yourself and her up like this, it does create bonding, and it does create connection. But it will amp up your sexual pleasure with her. You have to be careful if you're the type that tends to end up being like a simp. You easily fall in love with women. You have to be very careful when you use this technique. Because, as I said, it's a double-edged sword. What you put in, you're going to get put into yourself also. But if you approach it with the ideology that it's just a tool that you want to use to conquer her. By the way, this is out of my book on mind fucking. As a tool for conquering her, then you can avoid falling over that cliff, that love cliff that takes you spiraling downwards in an energetic low. Men, when they fall in love, unfortunately societal men, they tend to become obsessed. They tend to become focused on just one female. And that's a result of societal man now, the grain eater society people, the New Gene people. New Gene people have this ability to intensely focus for long periods of time. Now you take that as an energy or as a power, and you apply that to a female, you see why so many guys get one-itis. That's why there's so many guys in the PUA community with one-itis, because they're New Gene people. That's why they're into computer programming, or basically your high intelligence type of people. And it's only usually high intelligence people that will find these websites and stuff, because they have enough mind power to do a research, or enough intelligence to do research and to look for answers. So most of the people that I know that most people that listen to me and go to the forums and all the other sites out there, most of you guys are New Gene people. That's why you have the intense ability to concentrate, and that becomes a double-edged sword when dealing with women. That's why you get one-itis over a certain one female. As I talked about with the Dean last night, I'm sure he'll post the show up sometime today on our forum. You can get more information on that as we were talking about this type of stuff. But that mind of yours, you have to use it as a tool. You have to use your body as a tool to get you where you want to go. If you're trying to conquer her, then use this as a tool, and it will guide you down the path of being able to control her and insert your seed suggestions into her mind. And the best time to do that, as I said, is while she is having sex, because her body is open to you, her chakras are open to you, her energy is open to you, her mind is open to you, and her heart is open to you. But you can do a lot of emotional damage on women. And I've seen the end results of that. And it's not pretty. So use it lightly as a tool. Before I drop the show today, let me give a shout out to Brother Charles from the forum. Brother Charles just had his birthday, and on his birthday, he decided to lose his V card, so he hired a high-priced call girl. So I commend him on his determination and his willingness to seek a final solution to that problem. That's how a man handles his shit. And for the fellow that I podcasted about yesterday, who went from homeless to pimp, he did send me photos of his girls, and they're pretty hot. So this fella, he's got it going on up there. I believe he's up there in Canada. So congratulations to Brother Mike out there. He will be on the forum. I forgot his screen name, but I'm getting ready to add his ass in there, so he can definitely post up for us fellas up there and show us how he did all of his gaming and shit. Before I wrap up today's show, let me give a shout out to Andres, Andres, for his birthday today. And happy birthday. I believe it's 22, so 22 years young. Damn, I wish I was 22 years again. I would tear some pussy up out there, fellas. Until next time.